U.S. and Ukraine have now signed a deal granting America access to Ukraine's rare earth minerals. It was first negotiated during that Oval Office blow-up between Presidents Trump and Zelensky back in February. Ukrainian officials say the deal is a 50-50 partnership with no debt obligations for Kyiv. The two sides also agreed to establish a U.S. Ukraine reconstruction fund, which the two countries say will inject money into the economy of both countries. Here now is senior fellow at the Council on Foreign Relations, Heidi Crebo-Rediker. Thank you so much for joining us on 24/7 today. Can you talk about the benefits of a reconstruction fund and what's in it exactly for the United States?
Sure. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to join you today. So I think this fund that was signed yesterday is not only tangibly very important, that the U.S. will be investing and having a shared benefit in Ukraine's economic recovery eventually. Ukraine obviously has a wealth of resources both above and below ground, which this minerals and rare earths and oil and gas agreement is obviously related to. But I think it's also really symbolic because it locks the U.S. and President Trump personally into the success of Ukraine's economic future, which means there will be a delivery of both investment and security in a way that is not considered a one-way street from the president's perspective.
So let's get to the actual minerals here, because we talk about this often, but I'm sure so many people are wondering, because I'm wondering, what kind of natural resources does Ukraine actually have, and how could that ultimately benefit the United States?
Well, I mean, Ukraine has some of the largest lithium and titanium reserves estimated in Europe. So a lot of wealth underground. Some of the titanium is already being developed right now. They have big deposits of cobalt and nickel, and those are important for high performance batteries and aerospace alloys, and a lot that's used in the defense industry and also the high tech sector. And outside of Ukraine, China has a near complete chokehold on another important critical material, graphite. And so Ukraine is the fifth largest producer of graphite and also gallium, which is restricted by China right now in its export to the U.S. So it's really looking at the geopolitics and the geography and the geology lining up very well in the U.S. favor.
Wow. Okay. So I guess in your expertise there, your opinion, do you think this deal lays the groundwork for expanding trade power for critical minerals in other countries as well?
So I think, particularly Ukraine is a very special case because they have the workforce and the technology and the metallurgy expertise that a lot of other countries that have the raw materials don't actually possess. So you hear a lot of talk about Greenland and what Greenland can produce with their resources underground. That's a very, very long-term play with a lot of building up of infrastructure that would need to happen and a lot of ice melting, to be fair. And then the Democratic Republic of Congo is another country that has the largest cobalt reserves, also a lot of copper and lithium. And the U.S. is working to negotiate a deal that exchanges security. Particularly, they're engaged in a civil war right now, and are battling for against some Rwandan rebel groups. But that deal is a different type of negotiation in exchange for security, for access to mineral wealth in Congo.
Ah, wow. Okay. Heidi Crebo-Rediker, thank you so much for your insight today. We really appreciate your time.
Thanks for inviting me.